Good evening, folks. Welcome to our primary game tonight with the Varsity Gators versus the Panthers. And if you're still tuning in from the JV game, the statistics we actually got in that are unofficial, where the Gators JV won 52-33, with Derek Smith ending up with 11 points, Alex Schott with 10, Smith with 7, Hover with 6, Babcock with 6, Capel 4, and Feniger 4, and Hamilton 2, and Luck 2. Almost everyone on the team scored. And definitely, as we said there, Kerry, and I'm Dan Funk. I'm joined by Kerry Hover again. And we definitely said that Smith was starting to climb up there, and he definitely did. He went 2 for 2 from the field and 3 for 5 from the free throw line. So he definitely added those 7 points in the second half for that contribution.
Yeah.
And this is the second meeting between these two teams where the Gators came out on top 62-52. And Smith for the Panthers had 20, Daniels 14, Lewis 8, and Hoops 2. And Funk for the Gators, Funk had 15, Button 14, Causer 10, Amel 8, Wilfong 7, Yeager 5, and Levi Wilfong 3. And Kerry, I mean, that spreads out. That's a spread out offense right there.
Yeah, that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys for the Gators. That's good. Good way to spread the points around. That JV game, I think everybody scored, so that's kind of cool. Nobody had like 25 points that carried the team. So
agreed. And yeah, well, for the Panthers last game, they had 6, it looks like. So one more, but there's more of a bigger discrepancy, while as for the Gators, it looks really spread out.
Yeah.
And for the Gators, I mean, that becomes a difficult aspect for other teams to kind of narrow down on a particular player that you can double team or, dedicate a face guard to, because with that type of spread, you end up getting a lot more help, because that if you try to do a particular, targeting defense on a particular player, you end up putting your best defender on them, and then the second or third best defenders will, cascade down. But if the team is so spread out there that a threat can happen from any one of the positions, that's a critical aspect.
Yeah, I know the viewers can't see me, but I'm just kind of nodding along to everything you're saying. I totally agree. Looking down the scoring sheet from the last time these guys played, one thing that stood out to me was Isaac Amel with 8 points. Isaac kind of started out the season kind of in that limbo, like, is he a JV player, is he a varsity player? And it looks like he's worked himself into a nice role on the varsity team. So that's good to see for the future of the Gators.
And with how young the Gators are, because right now they're starting, last I knew, 3 sophomores for the Gators. And we're going to pause for the national anthem.
Welcome to today's competition. The IAA reminds you that your mission in this event entitles you to enjoy an exhibition of skills developed by the students in an educational setting. Please give these students your positive encouragement and support. Who we taunt for your intimidating the officials or opponents is unfriendly and unacceptable and will not be tolerated. A reminder that Port Allegany High School is a drug-free zone, that all drugs, alcohol, and tobacco are banned on school grounds. Now please stand and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
Well, Kerry, as the starting lineups are about ready to be announced, what do you think are the keys of the game right now for both teams?
Well, I should have thought about that question before you asked me. I always say turnovers and rebounds. Whoever can limit their turnovers and win the battle of the boards.
I agree. And for the Panthers, we have number 14, Daniels, followed up by number 20, Horenwaiter. I do apologize if I butcher anyone's name. Number 21, Katie. Number 23, Smith. And number 24, Fur. Yeah, because this is kind of the first time I've actually had the Panthers in their names, and sometimes I do butcher some of them, unfortunately. But for the Gators, we have number 2, Isaac Abel. Number 3, Jared Funk. Number 10, Nick Wilfong. Number 11, Braylon Button. And number 24, Jake Krauser. And we have Levi Howard to thank for that on-court camera angle. It's something new we're really trying out. So we'll get some really more interesting shots, and there's a lot of exciting things happening for the Gator Network that we're going to be doing. The Gators getting one last instruction from Coach Babcock. The Panthers look like they're actually ready to pounce.
Yeah, they look ready to go. So as we mentioned, 3 sophomores for the Gators: Funk, Wilfong, Amel, and Jake Krauser and Braylon Button, starting 5.
Which is very interesting for the Gators that they'll only have, from the starting 5, 4 returning, which is really phenomenal to have for a team. Funk is able to tip it off and get it over to Braylon Button. Hands it off to Wilfong. Wilfong sets up. Panthers pull out into a 3-2 defense. Button pivots, looks for Wilfong. Wilfong able to get it down to Funk to help out. Funk drives, lays it up off the glass. No good. Gets his own rebound, lays it up again. No good.
A couple good looks there.
As Daniels brings it up, drives to the sideline, hands it off to Smith. Smith drives, Fur is blocked by Funk, gets it back, and then travels on that second pump fake.
Yeah, nice defense by Jared Funk, protecting the basket there. Nice block.
Wilfong kicks it over to Funk as they're looking to be in a press zone break. Button with the rebound, but gets fouled on the floor. Oh, my apologies. Button was shooting. Looks like they're awarding him 2 free throws.
Yeah, Braylon Button does a great job on the glass. Helped out a couple years ago with basketball. I think he was only a sophomore then, and he was, when we'd scrimmage in practice, he was pretty tough to. He's a good solid body out there, to move around.
And there's a little bit of confusion on whether the basket actually went in, and I want to give Button a little bit of sportsmanship, sportsmanlike conduct, because of the fact that he actually came up to the refs and said, "No, it didn't. I didn't make it. I missed it."
They could have just asked David Bartlett. He would have replayed it for him.
I'm not sure if they know that we have the technology for replay. As much as that would be very beneficial, I don't think they've got a red hanky out there to throw and challenge it. And Braylon is able to make 1 of his 2 free throws, going 50%. Smith brings it up. Tries to hit Daniels backdoor, but Daniels gets it in the corner for 3. Funk quickly brings it up to Wilfong. Gets it back, sees Causer on the baseline, and Causer with a reverse layup for 2.
Yeah, good finish there by Jake. Nice pass by Jared to find him along the baseline.
And the Gators are coming out in a man help side defense. And Funk is called for a reach foul. It's a little more careless than what he needs to be.
So with Northern Potter, we only have the 1 game to go by, but Nolan Smith had 20, Ty Daniels had 14, so that's 34 of the 52 points they had last time. So,
agreed. Don't have many statistics on the Panthers as they swing it around in a weave type of format. They lose the ball a little bit, and Daniels drives but gets it back over to Smith. Smith tries to call it and settle him down and set up a play. Hands it off to Daniels, back to Smith. Daniels looking for a shot, not getting it. Went through the hands of the Panthers, swings it back over to Katie. And Horn Raider.
Yeah, good drive there, good finish.
Agreed. And the Panthers are definitely being very patient, looking for that driving lane in the weak side of a man defense off of the picks. Funk gets it down to Amel. Amel wasn't liking that. Kicks it back over to Funk, over to Wilfong. Get Amel down the corner. Skip pass to Funk. Funk lays it up for 2.
Good ball movement there by the Gators.
Kind of as Panthers were kind of forgetting about Funk on that backside of that zone defense. Smith drives. Wasn't like seeing what he's seeing. Dishes it back out to Daniels. And Katie drives. Shot up by Horn Raider. No good. Over to Funk. Funk passes to Causer. Causer pump fakes, but misses that. And Katie brings it down. Daniels. Over to Smith. Horn Raider. Another 3-point attempt. No good. And that bounced on the line. Turnover for the Gators.
Yeah, so I don't see Northern Potter looking inside too much. Looks like they're just trying to get some good ball movement back and forth and try to get a wide open 3. It seems to be the game plan so far.
The Panthers are definitely having a 4 out, 1 high offense with a weave mixed into it, which can be a little bit more of a pain for man offense or man defense. Amel kicks it over to Funk, who's in the corner. No good. Funk able to get his own rebound. Spins. Lays it up. No good. Able to tip it out. Gets it to Amel, but Amel has the ball knocked out, and it's off of him. Turns it over to the Panthers. And Smith bringing it up slowly. Button tried to read the pass, and a little confusion as one official did see it go one way and the other one go the other way. And it actually goes to the Gators. Wilfong brings it up as the Panthers come out of their zone into a man. Funk gets it over to Button, but Button is blocked by Furr. And Daniels tries to do a fast break, gets it over to Smith. Smith is looking for someone. It's a defer, skips it over to Snyder, who snuck in, was blocked by Funk. Panthers looking for a 3-point shot. And Smith with a nice 3-point shot ties the game 5-5.
And Smith had 20 in that first contest, so he's going to be a shooter.
And Amel turns it over as the pass is intended for Funk. And Funk coming down, able to come up with the pass in between, and he gets the ball stripped. And I'm not sure how that happened, Kerry. I didn't exactly see it, but there was, the Panthers turned it over, and Coach Babcock is not happy with what he's seeing and calls a 30-second timeout to try to recover something.
Yeah, a little back and forth action there. Got to slow things down a little bit. I think Jared Funk's done a good job getting his hands up. Got a block on that three-pointer. 1 or 2 steals. He's done a pretty good job. So
right now I think the Gators just need to slow it down a little bit and focus on the fundamentals of actually executing the play. Instead of trying to thread needles, I think that's what they're doing, is they're trying to thread the needle too much, and they need to let the play develop.
yeah, I agree. I'm sitting here nodding my head. So Wilfong looks like he's back.
Button gets it down to Causer. Causer spins and looking for a foul, but is not called for one. And Causer was definitely hustling down, and Daniels tries a three-point shot. And we have a
bloody nose.
A bloody nose, it looks like.
Connor Snyder's going to take a break, get that taken care of.
And there's going to be a slight pause as the training staff comes out to clean up the droplets. So both teams get a unofficial timeout to get out to kind of regroup a little bit. Hope he's okay.
Mr. Tony Edgell does a little bit of everything here in the school district. He's out there getting things cleaned up. Mr. Clark out there.
And our trainer heading off for Snyder to Julie Barton, taking care of Snyder.
So I'll jump in here real quick. If you didn't watch the JV game, Port Allegany was victorious in that contest. We're trying out some new camera angles tonight. We got Connor Valentine at the mid-court camera, as always. And then we have Levi Howard kind of roaming the sidelines, getting some under-the-basket shots. So,
and we can't forget about our third camera operator, the tripod. I have to make that little joke because that's the one that's giving you the view of our scoreboard.
Yep.
All right, as action resumes, Wilfong brings it up nice and slow. And I want to say both Wilfong and Amel telegraphed that one.
Yep, they got to do a little fake pass and go back door on him.
Even just look with the eyes to a little bit off center or look at the hoop. And Amel gets it over to Funk. Hand it back to Wilfong. Wilfong tries to develop gets it over to Causer. Causer drives, dishes the Button. Amel able to get there in time, and Amel's toe got on the line and turned it over.
You got a replay on that? No, just kidding.
We do have replay options, guys. So occasionally we will have replay options available for us depending on the play. But Smith was looking to feed it into Furr, but just went just out of bounds. So the Gators bring it down, get over to Causer. Causer looking to try to coordinate. Gets it over to Funk. Funk with a deep three. Hits it. That looked close to NBA range.
Nice shot there by Jared Funk. Extends the lead by 3 there. Breaks the tie.
Definitely something that maybe hopefully the Gators can use as a starter. Button looked like he got a piece of that. Funk come down with it. Amel on the fast break, drives, lays it up for 2. And that makes it 10-5. Real quick turnaround for the Gators. Get a little momentum going their way. Daniels trying to slow it down. Might be pulling for one last shot. Gets it over to Smith. Back to Furr. Kicklighter, looking for it. And Wilfong goes diving for it. Smith dishes back, chooses not to take that shot. Button with a straight up defense with 14 seconds left, gets that rebound. Gets it over to Funk. Funk looks up at the clock, tries to find something, gets it over to Causer. Causer trying to make something happen, gets it back over to Funk. Funk, 3-point shot. No good as it goes in and out. And at the end of the first quarter, it is 10-5.
Yeah, good little run there by the Gators. It was 5-5, and then we had the 3-pointer by Funk, and then the 2-pointer by
Amel.
So a quick 5 points there. So we have the cheerleaders out here. We want to thank Lily Babcock, Ashlyn Baker, Alexis Bennett, Jersey Gamet, Lily Ann Reed, Mila Senna, and Savannah Hart, coached by Terry Austin and Alexis Reed.
Now, what do you think is happening inside those huddles right now?
Sorry, I was a little distracted. David was pointing out, so we've got Levi Howard on the floor giving us some nice shots of the huddle. It's kind of a new look there. Very cool. But I am getting distracted and can't remember what question you just asked. So.
I'm not sure if we were looking for something that up close.
So it looks like a new look Alex Yeager, new hairdo. Checks into the game. So Daniels drives to the hoop, off the glass, no good.
Causer looked like he tried to move a little too quickly. They get it down. Funk, the Panthers missed that. But Funk was able to come down with the rebound.
Looks like maybe a clear out play.
Yep, cleared out. Got help. Funk drove and is fouled with the basket counting. And we got the replay coming up for you right now.
Very cool.
I'm the furthest away, folks, and so I'm having to watch this actually on a different replay. And Funk is able to complete the 3-point play, making it 12-5. With Daniels bringing it up. Martin came into the game. Smith over to Martin. Daniels. Kicklighter. Caddy drives. And Kicklighter is blocked by Funk, but it goes out of bounds, stays Panther ball.
Yeah, we just called Martin's name and Kicklighter and Wyatt Bliss. So those are 3 guys that got a lot of minutes in the JV game, get a lot of minutes in the varsity game as well.
And Bliss, ironically, just came in. And Daniels got a nice double screen, but was not able to capitalize on it.
A little off-balance shot there.
And Caddy was able to bank that one in high as Gator defense was up in front. But that ended the Panthers' drought that they had for their offense. Wilfong swings it over to Causer, sees Funk, and Funk jumper off the baseline, or off the 45-degree angle, and bounces it in off the glass, making it 15-7.
Yeah, good ball movement there by the Gators. I thought we might see a 3-point attempt by Wilfong.
And Funk with another block. But Bliss, just coming into the game, was able to get the rebound and get it back in. And Wilfong is fouled, coming down by Daniels. Gators will get the ball on the sideline.
So Ethan Furr is back in the game. Looks like Katie going back out.
Yeager gets it in over to Wilfong. Looks like another spread or isolation. And Daniels fouls Wilfong as Wilfong was getting a little creative with the dribbling.
Yeah, 2 quick ones on Daniels there. He might get a break from his coach.
And he does, and Snyder comes back into the game. Good to see that he's okay. Funk gets it back into Wilfong. Funk comes back and actually grabs it in the backcourt. Gets it over to Causer. Wilfong, top of the key, hits it for 3.
Nice shot. The Gators seem to like the top of the key there for their 3-point attempts.
Well, that straight-on look is always nice. And Smith drives, gets a lot of people to fake. Wilfong and Funk able to get a piece of that. Funk looks like he got the bigger one. Coincidentally, I think it's just because he's another foot taller than Wilfong. That's no slight on Nick. Nick he can really throw a football, and he's got some jumps.
I think that was Funk's either 3rd or 4th block. We'll wait to see what Dan Schott comes up with at halftime.
Causer sits down in the corner. Gets it back over to Wilfong. Wilfong sets up a play. Wilfong drives, little floater, no good. Braylon Button's able to tip it out to Causer. And Causer's little jump hook shot gets fouled by Snyder, and Causer will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Causer had 10 the last time these guys met up over in Ulysses.
And that gets the shooter's roll.
Nice looking shot.
Yes, definitely. I will say, I think that first quarter had a lot of the Christmas break rust being knocked off. And Causer's second one is good. There's a little action on the sideline, or on the side of the paint. Didn't see exactly what that was, but definitely it was allowed. Causer is able to get a hand in. Ball's rolling around. Body's on the floor. But the Panthers are able to get it down to Bliss. And that foul looks to be on Button. And they're calling it on the floor.
Yeah, good to see the Gators flying around there on the court.
Definitely shows a lot of heart and a lot of effort coming into that because they want the ball, they want the win. This is the first home game from the actual break. Snyder with a little floater, but Funk comes down with the rebound. Wilfong drives, tries to lay it up, no good. And there's Wilfong getting his hands up high, tied it up, but tips it back out. Causer with a 3, no good. And Smith comes down with the rebound. 20-9, just under 4 minutes left to go. Martin drives to Furr. Furr drives baseline, tries to lay it up, no good. Tips it away from Funk. Smith drives baseline also. Button able to block that one.
Yeah, good help D by Button.
And it looks like the Gators are going to slow it down, try to set something up as a small line change looks to be getting set up to come in. Wilfong over to Funk. Causer down to Button. Button drives, no good. I think Button was looking for a foul, and that wasn't happening. Smith to Furr, back to Smith. He had picked up his dribble. Smith to Snyder. To Martin. Over to Furr. Furr, three-point attempt. No good long. Wilfong picks up the pace a little bit. Jaeger sees an open lane, drives, lays it up for a nice layup. And the Panthers call a timeout to try to regroup with a 22-9.
Yeah, so 13-point lead for the Gators. Looks like a couple fresh bodies coming in. Levi Wilfong, Mason Calhoun, and I had the third one,
Isaac Amel. And it gives Button, Funk, and Jaeger a breather.
Yeah, we'll have to coach Levi Howard, maybe not get too close to the huddle there. We don't have lip readers out there. We thank Levi Howard for being down on the floor for us. Connor Valentine, mid-court. Appreciate the students' help. We are looking for more students' help.
Or other adult volunteers, because right now there's only 5 of us adults that can really do a majority of aspects of this, and help is always needed because we all volunteer and we don't get paid for it. As the action is going, Bliss drives, dishes over to Smith. Smith, jumper, no good. Button with the rebound. Gets it to Wilfong. Wilfong calling out the plays. Panthers settling into a 2-3 zone. Button gets it to Amel. Amel. And Panthers get it over there, but and I've just had a few disbelief there that there was definitely a foul on a couple of them, and we got it on an instant replay, but Wilfong was able to steal it and bring it back. One thing I have noticed, Kerry, though, is that this season there seems to be a lot more physicality.
Yeah, the games I've seen, a lot of let them play, I guess.
And not quite so, hitting the fouls quite so sensitively, which could be an aspect of the new free throw rule.
Three-pointer by Calhoun.
And makes it 25-9. But that could be, like I said, the causality of that, because they don't want to have it where the referees might be giving a game to someone by causing too many fouls. So that might be more of it has to be a little more physical. That's an idea. I'm not sure if it's true. But the Panthers turned it over, and the Gators bring it back down. Panthers still settling into a 2-3 zone. Mason Calhoun looking for Button down low and gets called for a 5-second violation.
Minute left to go here, Dan.
Smith, a little reach in by Button into that passing lane. And Smith able to get it into Martin. And Smith hits a three-pointer in the corner.
Yeah, I saw him over there, and I thought we might see a three-point shot.
And Funk is checking in. Over to Wilfong. Back to Calhoun.
Looks like that skip play is available.
Gets it over to Amel. Amel looking for a three-pointer. Skips it back over to Jaeger. That's not Jaeger. Calhoun. My apologies. Calhoun looking for that one last second shot. Sees it. No good. Panthers rebound. Amel guarding him closely and tight. Smith tries to get over the timeline. Last second shot. No good.
I give a lot of credit to Isaac Amel there. There was only 9 seconds left, and he was just pestering that guy and just kind of ran out the clock. So kudos to him.
Definitely kudos. Slowed it down. So what do you think both teams need to do for the second half?
Well, I think for Port Allegany defensively, it seems like Northern Potter's best opportunities from three-point. Nolan Smith hasn't really gotten going yet, but he showed there that he can hit the three. Hasn't been much of an inside presence for Northern Potters, so I think defensively if the Gators can just limit the threes, Gators are doing a good job swinging the ball around. That skip pass back and forth is kind of, giving some opportunities. So we just had the stats get emailed to us by Dan Schott. We appreciate Dan Schott for keeping the unofficial stats for us. So scoring-wise, Jared Funk leads the Gators with 10 points. Jake Causer with 4. Nick Wilfong with 3. Mason Calhoun with 3. Isaac Amel with 2. Alex Jaeger with 2. Braylon Button with 1. And he has Jared Funk credited with 4 blocks. 7 rebounds. That's good. From the foul line, the Gators are 4 for 5 as a team, so that's a good sign. So, yeah, good team basketball.
Everybody give this a round of applause for donating it back to the Roosters. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, folks, we're going to probably take a couple-minute break here to rest our voices, and we'll be back with about a minute left in the half. See you then. Alrighty, folks. We're back with a little bit of halftime action. Kerry Hoffer's got some statistics from our good friend Dan Schott, who's down there taking unofficial stats for us.
Yeah, Dan, so, obviously the score is 25 for Port Allegany, 12 for Northern Potter. A couple things that stand out. I think that the team that wins the Battle of the Boards usually wins the game. Port Allegany is on top 14-9 in rebounds. Whoever takes care of the ball, I think, usually wins. And Port Allegany's winning that. They've only turned the ball over 5 times. Northern Potter's turned it over 7. Slight advantage in three-pointers. The Gators are 3 for 8. Northern Potter's 2 for 7. Blocks, I think, has made a big difference. Port Allegany has 6. Northern Potter has 2. And from the foul line, the Gators are 4 for 5, and Nopo has not had a shot yet. So,
and the statistics really don't, show that it's really a close game statistics-wise. It doesn't seem like the percentages are that far off. Both teams, turnovers could be attributed differently, but it definitely seems to be kind of more of an even game, what you think. Panthers come out in a zone. Amel's shot is off the mark and goes through Button's hand, goes out of bounds. With Smith, who's had the hot hand, do believe, in the first half for the Panthers, brings it up. Panthers are coming in that weave action, gets over to Snyder. And Daniels goes back door and gets fouled by Causer, and he's going to be going to line for 2.
yeah, good play by Daniels there. Tough one for Causer because, you have the threat of the three-point shot, so you got to get out there and take him serious, and then, Daniels goes back door on him.
The other thing I've learned as Daniels sinks his first one is that you swing that arm down, that is a big red flag to the officials. Hey, that's a foul. Daniels drains the second. Funk brings it up, gets it over to Wilfong. Makes the game an 11-point game. Funk dishes down to Button, gets it to Causer. Causer weaves through, gets tipped around. Button goes up thinking he had pressured, but was able to get his own rebound and put it back up again.
Yeah, good recovery there. He kind of was off balance and wasn't sure where he was at, but.
And an official timeout to check on a player. Looked like a player might have twisted his ankle. Snyder gets the ball. Funk pressuring heavily. Gets it over to Daniels. Daniels over to Smith. Smith drives baseline. Little loop-de-loop.
Wow.
Around the defense. That was a fantastic little play. You got the replay coming up for that. As that's happening, Causer sees Amel's scorching back door, but Amel's shot is blocked and gets his own rebound. And Smith drove the whole length of the court, missed that. Snyder had the ball kicked out to him, missed his three-pointers, rebounded by Wilfong. Wilfong over to Funk, pump faked, skip pass over to Amel, dish down to Causer, Causer to Button, to Wilfong. Wilfong's 3 is good.
That's the second 3, I believe.
Making it 30-16.
It's 2 for Wilfong, 1 for Funk, and 1 for Calhoun.
Smith driving, dishes over to Hohenwaiter. That layup no good, rebounded by Button. Funk chooses to bring it up the court. And Smith reads that pass. And Smith doesn't.
Yeah, Smith was ready for a replay on that one he had just a couple plays ago.
But this time he wasn't quite in front of the rim. Button gets it down to Causer. Causer with a nice pump fake and lays it up for 2.
16-point lead for Port Allegany.
Snyder drives. And Funk is called for a pushing foul. With the replay happening, not so sure that was actually the right point of view to see that.
You know, they ought to just stick a ref up here. We see it all up here.
Snyder pump fakes Funk. No shot is no good as he steps in for a 25-footer. And Funk is blocked by Caddy. And it's quick action back and forth. I missed a few players handing off. Caddy trying to drive, gets it to Smith. Smith over to Snyder. Hands off to Daniel. They got that weave going on. Smith with a three-pointer, no good. And Button is called for a push on that block out.
Is that his third foul?
That, I do believe, is his third foul. And I think that's actually the team's third foul. And Jaeger comes in for Funk. Jaeger gets the ball, but as he's sliding across the court, which is actually by rule a travel.
Levi Wilfong going to check in. Braylon Button goes out. Button with the 3 fouls.
Want to try and keep him out of trouble. Smith drives baseline and able to lay it up,
Nice take by Smith.
making it 18-32. Gators having a 16-point lead right now. Wilfong to Jaeger. Jaeger, three-point shot, in and out. Rebound, tied up by both teams. Causer was able to tip it out from Caddy, but it stays Panther ball. Snyder, guarded by Jaeger. Daniels comes around for rescue help. Who dishes over to Smith. Smith drives foul line. Gets it over to Caddy. Caddy baseline. Jumper, no good. Jaeger with a box out. Able to recover, but tries to get to Wilfong, but misplaces that one. And Bliss, who came in where I didn't actually see him, laid it up, but Causer was able to get it, take off down the court as the Gators try to slow it down. Jaeger down to Causer, is blocked by Bliss. And the Panthers in a fast break format right now. Gets it to Daniels, and Daniels lays it in for 2.
Cuts the lead to 12.
The Gators should slow down and try to develop a play, get things going in their favor as momentum has shifted. Amel hits the 3 on an assist by Levi Wilfong. You got 2 brothers out there, number 10 and number 33.
So I think that's the 5th 3 by the Gators, which that's the deficit right now for Northern Potters, 15 points.
Bliss dishes out to Caddy. Caddy over to Daniels. Daniels hands off to Snyder. Snyder looping back around over to Caddy. Caddy to Smith. Smith driving in. Pump fake. Back to Caddy. They're definitely being patient with this. Sees Daniel wide open on the backside and is fouled. Basket's good. With a replay coming up.
Yeah, really good ball movement there by Northern Potter.
And that is on Jaeger. And we have Funk and Derek Smith coming in for the Gators. And Hornwaiter for the Panthers. And Caddy gets a rebound, turns into a 4-point play, and the Panthers decide to call a timeout as they've cut this lead to 9 points.
Yeah, Northern Potter swinging the momentum back their way. Good hustle play there by Northern Potter. See if the Gators can relax a little bit. While we have a break, we just want to remind you that tomorrow we'll be broadcasting from Smethport. It'll be a home wrestling match. Port Allegany and Smethport have co-opted for the last couple years. Thanks to the superintendent, Bryce Benson, and the crew over there in Smethport for allowing us to broadcast tomorrow. David Bartlett will be the technical director. Dr. Andrew Young will be the announcer. I think Jason Stake's going to run camera for us. So we're looking forward to that broadcast. Tonight, we thank Connor Valentine and Levi Howard for running the cameras for us. Couldn't do it without them.
No, we can't do it without the volunteer help, as this is a production that's been a few months in the making of actually getting it to this point, and we've still got a long ways to go of what we dream. As action's back, Smith skips it over to Funk. Funk steps back, open three, no good. Caddy with the rebound. Caddy drives, and that's an offensive charge on Caddy. Drawn by Funk.
You could just see that developing. He was putting his head down, he was going to the hoop, and Funk stood his ground and took the charge there.
And not a lot of players are really willing to stand in to take that punishment, because that is actually a punishment. That actually does hurt. Wilfong over to Smith. Skips it. Funk with a push-off. That's a foul on Funk with that arm extending.
Yep, definitely a push-off there. How many is that on Jared?
Either 2 or 3.
So 11-point lead here for the Gators. Hopefully Northern Potter doesn't swing the momentum back their way.
Funk with a block, gets over to Smith. Fast break as they got numbers. And number 20, Hornreiter, realistically runs over Smith, and he gets fouled. And Causer comes in for Funk, who I think has got either 3 or maybe 4 fouls. I'm not sure which.
So if we have a little action under the hoop there, Levi Howard's going to capture it for us. Some cool shots there.
The Gators able to stretch this back to an 11-point lead right now. Panthers falling into a 2-3 zone. Amel. Gets it in, and there is an over-the-back call on Causer. Foul called, and that's going to be 5, but because that was a offensive foul, that is not a shooting foul, I think. Or is it, they making it? Okay, I guess that is.
That's the second on Causer.
Yeah. My thought on that was that it was a offensive.
Right.
But Hornwaiter's first shot attempt, no good. Second attempt is good. Causer into Amel.
10-point lead.
Once again, a very young crew out there as we have Derek Smith, who's a junior. And Smith travels. Nick Wilfong. So I was just going to say Wilfong. Nick Wilfong is a sophomore. Amel with a sophomore. And Causer is a junior. Levi Wilfong's the only senior out there right now. Smith driving, steps back for no man's land 2. Good, good, but Furr is there for the layup after the rebound.
Yeah, way to attack the boards there.
Wilfong over to Amel, gets across the timeline. Pump fake. And Amel's good for 3. Makes it an 11-point game again. Smith drives, spins, jumper. That's good. And he beats the shot clock. Yeah, we got the replay coming up for that.
Yeah, nice little play there. Close out the third quarter.
And it looks like Button and Funk are going to be checking back in for the Gators.
So we want to thank the cheerleaders again: Lily Babcock, Ashlyn Baker, Alexis Bennett, Jersey Gamet, Lily Ann Reed, Mila Senna, Savannah Hart, coached by Terry Austin and Alexis Reed. Thank you. So we'll have that wrestling match we were talking about tomorrow night. We will have a boys game here against Cameron County on Friday.
Yep.
Then we'll have a girls game on Monday.
And I know it's something some people may hear or not, but if you like what you hear, guys, if you like the content, if you like watching the games, make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button, as it is free. I mean, we do this on free on YouTube, so that you'll know at least when we go live, when we schedule to go live. And that way you don't miss any of our action here on the Gator Network. The Panthers get the ball for the fourth quarter. Smith looking for a couple screens, gets it, and rebound by Funk as Furr's layup misses. Panthers developing into another 2-3 zone. Gets it to Causer, who dishes down to Button, and Button gets fouled, and he's going to be going to the line.
Yeah, nice ball movement from Causer to Button, who finishes.
That is definitely one of the ways, Kerry, to beat a zone, is to make it collapse in on itself by having that threat standing right there.
And I think Port Allegany definitely has the advantage inside.
And Causer, I know Causer has only played for a couple years, and he's really developed into a player. He hasn't been with the game, I know, unlike most of the other team members, for, through our community program that in travel ball that you're going to be taking care of and packing up your bags to go visit around places.
Yeah, we don't have to travel too far this year. Just Cotter Sport, Bradford, Oswego Valley, Otto Eldred, in our own tournament. So,
but definitely a crucial part of developing younger talent that come up to the varsity programs. And Smith's three-point attempt in the corner, no good. Gators bring it up. Funk down to Button, down to Causer. Wilfong in the corner, hits the side of the backboard. And they get it up to Smith real quick. Funk blocks Smith. Funk takes off, dishes over to Causer, and Causer gets blocked by Caddy.
Yeah, a lot of body there. I thought maybe we'd see a call. Good ball movement by the Gators. Good little pass from Funk over to Causer there at the last second.
Both teams are being physical, and I'll call it more of a clean physical, but it's definitely a stronger physical than normal. And once again, we have our Port Allegany cheerleaders out there. So, Kara, I know I've asked you this like 4 times tonight. Hopefully you're ready for this one, but what do you think the Panthers are trying to figure out what to do?
I think they've got to figure out a way to get themselves, a wide open three, whether that's a double screen or something. They don't have too much of an inside presence. I mean, they're able to drive and initiate some contact and get to the line, but down 12, 6:45 left to play. I think a couple of threes could really turn this. So, I think if I'm the coach, I'm trying to draw up some double screens to free up Smith. Something of that nature.
Or worst case scenario, something that would cause the Gator defense to collapse on Smith and anticipate more dumping off down low. Amel gets it into Causer. Back to Wilfong, back to Amel. Amel in the corner. Look for something else, but his three-point attempt, no good. And Hornwader got the rebound, but started to go to the floor, and once he got to the knees, that's a travel. It's a quirky rule, but it is a true rule. Funk looks to Wilfong. Drives. Wilfong lays it up, no good. Button with the rebound and is fouled. Will be going to the line for two. Wilfong's got that fast layup that, as a big man in my youth, I hated. I really did.
Yeah, me too. As soon as I saw that shot go up, I'd be off my feet. And too late, but.
Well, not only that, but as soon as he's leaning into it, as Button makes that first one, you see him coming in. He starts to take off, and all of a sudden, it's out of his hands, and it's above you, and you're already loading.
Yeah, and Gator fans might remember that reminds me a little bit of Noah Archer last year, in the last 4 years, actually.
Yeah, he had that little quick shot. As Button hits his second shot, makes 43-29. And
nice pass.
Causer able to break it up and dishes to Funk in a fast break. Lays it up as the Gators are in a high 1-3. They get it to Caddy. Caddy drives, no good. Rebound by Furr. Furr is able to lay that up. And Caddy, and I don't know if it was in the camera, but Caddy was in the corner jumping up and down, trying to get Smith's attention, saying he was wide open. Button tries to drive, in the hands, gets in there, loses it, and Coach Babcock wisely quickly calls a timeout to save the possession.
Yeah, so looking ahead, not to keep harping on the schedule, but I was thinking next week we've got girls game Monday, boys game Thursday, and then I think we have our first bocce match next Friday. I think
that's a
4 o'clock, I believe.
Bocce is not a sport I know of it, but that's a very unique game.
Yeah, we need to get some bocce experts up here because I don't know if you want Dan Funk and I call them the bocce match. I don't know if we're going to be able to add much to it.
Without using my friend Google, I wouldn't quite sure on exactly how to do it. It's kind of like, the Olympic game with the ice and the rocks.
Oh, it's like curling.
Curling, that's what it is. I couldn't remember that.
Curling on a court. So we'll have to reach out to Coach Justin Osani and see if he can provide us a commentator, somebody who can educate
that knows the bocce game.
Yeah.
Because I know that some people, when you see some clips in it, they are so wide with it and it curls in. Funk dishes into Causer. Causer gets into traffic, gets it over to Amel. Amel loses it a little bit. And offensive foul on Funk. And that is Funk's third. Team's second. Smith over to Daniels. Back to Smith. Hornwader. Causer jumps the pass and steps on the sideline with a toe.
Great hustle play by Jake Causer. Trying to tap dance down the line there.
Definitely hitting that replay by yeah,
kind of like the little half-court trap here.
Yeah, it's causes a little chaos, but there is that weakness right underneath the hoop that Furr exploited.
Cuts the lead to 12. 5 minutes left to play.
Wilfong skips to Amel. Over to Funk. Funk swings it to Wilfong, taking their time. Wilfong pass fake, thought otherwise, and drains the three.
I was just going to say you don't have to shoot here, but hey, if you can make it three, why not?
And sometimes it's never sold or never taught enough that a great pass fake will open you up.
Yeah, that's true.
And Wilfong did that. He pass faked to the corner as Hornleader hits his three from the corner, brings it back within 12. But a simple pass fake will, right like that,
Yep.
will back someone off and give someone even an open look. Funk sees a driving lane, lays it up, no good, hard off the glass. Daniels over to Smith. Smith, jumper, no good. Rebound Snyder. Snyder.
Yeah, good hustle play.
Definitely good hustle play. And the Panthers call a 30-second, no, a full timeout, I think. No, 30-second timeout. Oh, full. I'm confused, folks. One team is standing, the other one's sitting, and it's a full timeout.
So we hope you're enjoying the replays tonight. I think this is one of our better broadcasts we've had. We want to thank Levi Howard and Connor Valentine for providing the shots. If they weren't capturing the great shots, we wouldn't have any replays to show. So thanks to those guys. We hope to duplicate this type of broadcast on Friday for the boys' game. Monday, we might be a little short-handed, so that's where we could use some extra volunteers. If you're enjoying the broadcast and just want to fill in, every once in a while, reach out. Reach out so we can get you certified and participate.
Definitely also want to thank Dave Bartlett for being on the control board in the back, who's doing the back end stuff and the actual as kind of a producer, interacting with all the screens and cameras. And our view here actually have 3 cameras, on a screen and actually interacting. It's really a nice setup.
Yep, absolutely.
And Wilfong gets an isolation play, drives, no good, but Button with the rebound and puts it back in.
Yeah, and that's a dagger for the Panthers. Not what you want to see. Potential three-point play here.
If you look up in that booth right now while we're going for this three-point shot, you see Dan Funk and Kerry Hogger up there in your right-hand corner.
Button able to come down with the second one, or complete his three-point play. Sorry, not his second one. His three-point play from the free throw line. Smith sees Hornwader. No good his attempt. Rebound by Button. And the Panthers pull out of their zone into a man defense. Almost said a man offense. That would have been interesting. Causer looking for an opportunity. No good. Gets over to Button. Button sees an isolation. Drives center lane. Lays that up for 2. Button's definitely the hot hand this second half.
Yeah, he's heating up, and Northern Potter just doesn't have an answer for him.
Smith drives. Little fadeaway jumper. No good. Wilfong over to Funk. Funk tries to get around Daniels. Amel gets over to Funk. And we got an offensive foul. And that is on Nick Wilfong. It looks like on a screen, possibly. I was waiting. I didn't see that foul. Bliss checks in for Furr. With 2:20 left. Both teams have 3 team fouls, so there is a couple fouls to give. Daniels being guarded by Causer. Ball's tipped by Button. Gator staying in a man defense all night. Daniels skips it down to Hornwader. Funk able to jump that passing lane. Kicks it out to Funk. Funk drives, lays it up for 2. Smith coming back down. Daniels, Snyder, and Button with a reach around foul. That'll be on the ground with 1:38. I think that's Button's 4th.
I think so. Which at this point, you know, Gators up 17, only 1:38 left.
And Langworthy and Lehman come in for the Panthers. Daniels crosses it over to Lehman. Down to Bliss. Bliss, 3-point shot, no good. Langworthy, he's able to come down with it, but his foot looked like it went out of bounds. Turns it over.
So some new people come in for the Gators. Looks like Isaac Barber, Henry Kistler, Levi Wilfong, Nick Wilfong, and Isaac Aim will remain in the game here.
Kistler looking for play develop. Over to Amel. And Amel able to the thread. Kistler able to come down with it. And Kistler lays it up for 2. Right. And that is one of the few senior points. Daniel, 3-point shot, no good. And it goes off of the Gators. And Colton Crow checks in, along with Calhoun. And am I right? That's a whole senior squad.
Yeah. Crow with the block.
And Sherman also checked in for the Panthers. Bliss, back to Sherman. Sherman drives, no good, but is fouled by Calhoun. And that'll send Sherman to the line. And I think that'll be the team's 5th foul. That is according to the scoreboard. Sherman's first one rattles in, gets the shooter roll. Second shot is good for Sherman, making it 57-40. Less than almost 30 seconds actually left in the game. Calhoun looking for play developed. Gets a screen by Kistler. Kistler over to Wilfong. Wilfong gets fouled by Langworthy. The Panthers have a couple fouls to give, so if they're going to a free throw attempt with 15.6 seconds, that's quite a bit left. Quite a ways for them to go. Wilfong kicks it back to Calhoun. Across the timeline. Over to Wilfong. Kistler. Wilfong just holds on to it, and that's the game, folks. Gators win a home game. First one in what, 3-4 weeks? It's been a while since we've had a home game here.
Yeah, because we played at Oswego Valley, and then before that we played at Northern Potter.
And then before that we played at Otto Eldred. So we've had quite a way stretch.
So we want to thank Dan Schott for providing us with stats here at the end of the game. We can go over the scoring here for the Gators. Looks like Jared Funk led the Gators with 17 points. Braylon Button with 13. Isaac Amel with 8. Nick Wilfong with 6. Jake Causer with 6, Mason Cahoon with 3, Alex Yeager with 2, Henry Kistler with 2.
Definitely that second half, Button definitely carried the team during that slow dry spell.
Just looking for things that might stand out here. From the three-point line, the Gators were 7 of 18. Northern Potter 3 of 12. Free throws, the Gators were 8 of 9. And Northern Potter was 5 of 7.
And those free throws are actually crucial, as those are give me points. And previous in the season, we were very lacking in that.
It looks like the Gators won the battle of the boards 30-20, so that's a big difference there. So thank you, Dan Schott, for providing these unofficial stats.
Definitely, and we've got a wrestling match tomorrow, right?
Wrestling match tomorrow, boys game Friday, girls game Monday.
So once again, folks, if you haven't hit that subscription button, please do so. Notification bell lets you know when we go live. And we are, well, we do what we can here to help out with our community.
Yep, happy to be a part of it.
So until next time, folks, I'm Dan Funk.
And I'm Kerry.